He was fine like wine, and in time I did unwind. His promises were like silk, they flowed like milk.
And when we met, I immediately got wet, hot and bothered, yet I tried to hide the coward in me. But she did plead, let me free. I can handle him. He's so sweet.
Morning, Miss Jones. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Thanks.
So I did, and I came back with 99 stitches, kid. And when the doctor took them out, they all left scars, without a doubt.
Thank you for coming to StarNet Studios. I appreciate you being here with us. I hope you are having a great day. I am speaking to producer and writer Miss Abike Washington. She's been busy with a lot of different things in Texas and California and elsewhere. So just want to say hello to her. How are you today, Abike?
I'm doing good, Andre. How are you?
I am good. Thanks for coming.
And
So
thanks
as we
for
were
inviting me
I'm
on.
glad to have you.
Yes.
So, as we were talking a little bit earlier, so one of the centerpieces of your career that has caught my attention is your piece, You Tuned In. I know that's very dear and very special to you. So, let's go ahead and talk about that, like the origins of that and what that's meant to you.
Okay. As I explained a little bit to you before, it started out with it was in college, and I had a little bit of time on my hand. I think about 2 or 3 weeks before it was time to go to get into school and go to courses. So I went to the library, and I came across this book titled Ida B. Wells, and took it home in my spare time, leisure time, and was just reading it. And I found the story to be fascinating because, if you like to write, she's a writer, even though she wasn't a screenwriter, but of course she was a news writer. And she was a storyteller also. And so you knew about her. If you know anything about Ida B. Wells, you know about her anti-lynching campaigns. You know about, a lot of people don't know, but she was a part of heading the NAACP, so a lot of people don't know that. And it kind of got taken away from her because they said she was angry, too angry, and so other people boarded it. And these are stuff I read out of a book that was written about her, and just to listen to her life story, just to listen to her friend who got hung, and that was dear to her, and that's what pushed her to start going out in different states and outside of the USA to honestly just look for help on lynching in America. So I'm the type of person, I truly believe when you are a storyteller, a director, a producer, that it's okay for us to reflect history, but we should always, always reflect our present. Reflect our present. And if you notice, leaders like Ida B. Wells, like Dr. Martin Luther King, like Malcolm X, they didn't focus a lot on the past. They were constantly talking about their day and their experiences. And so what I did is I took the content that I understood about her, and I created a whole screenplay. And I said I'm going to use it as a one-woman show because I was in California, and I had started auditioning at theaters. People were beginning to notice me. And so I said, I can use it as a piece, and just go to theaters and, do my thing. And someone told me, they said, you should make it out of a short film. And I said, because I never really thought about it. So I took the content And what I did is I created characters and created a world. And instead of me reflecting on slavery and lynching and those things, because we're dealing with slavery, but it's a different kind of slavery today. And it's more of a mental, emotional, and spiritual slavery. We're not necessarily getting chased by dogs or getting, beat over the head with clubs. And so I said, what is our story of today? And that's where Yetunde came from. And Yetunde literally means for mother has visited. And so I was inspired just by that for some reason. I can't even tell you why. I just was looking up names to name it. And for some reason, I just came up with Yetunde. And as it evolved, and as the characters evolved and the script evolved, it was perfect. It was perfect. The name fit, the meaning of the name fit. And so the message that I was trying to deliver in that is that what we go through today, not just race relations, but even with our own race, So when you're trying to make it as a producer, or when you're trying to make it as a writer or actor or a professional or anything, it's not just race like people think it is. To me, it's beyond race. And I always give this example. I always say, if I'm a Black woman and you're a Black man and you're trying to make it in this world, and I come step on you, or I come do things to you to try to keep you from your goals and your dreams, what makes me different than a Ku Klux Klan? What makes me different than a white supremacist? It's the same attitude. You understand what I'm saying? Right. Now, it really is. It's the same mentality. And that's where that was birthed from. It was also birthed from my experience, because I've had experiences that were very, very, I won't go into too much detail, but they were off the chains. Yeah. Absolutely. Even in making the film, off the chains. A lot of people don't know what people go through that's trying to become something. When you're trying to build your studio, when you're trying to be the actress that some people want to be. A lot of people don't say nothing because it's called stay positive. You understand what I'm saying? But how many people know that it's really not positive behind closed doors all the time? You know what I'm saying? It may be positive in your mind, but that doesn't mean that everybody is positive in your experience. And some things can be very, very, very hectic, very, very hectic. And so I just wanted to reflect that, and that's why the dream theme is in there, that, no matter what, you must continue on. So that's where that was birthed from.
Yeah. And you said that you worked on this during college, and that was the University of North Texas, correct?
Yes, but actually the script or the film, none of that stuff came about until years later. Mm. I read the book while I was in college. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? And so I didn't even know that I was going to act or write a film, or because I wasn't in that world. You see what I'm saying? So I was just in school, and I was taking journalism at the time. And just reading that book. But at that time, no, I didn't know it was going to be a screenplay. I didn't know any of those things were going to happen. It's just that when I went to California, for some reason, that story just always stuck with me, and it just evolved. And that's when it unfolded. That's when it became. Mm-hmm. And I think that was like, let me see, 2020, because when you look at it, it was produced and made in 2016. I don't know if you know about the festival in Texas, where you enter your script into the competition. So, and then they screen it at the Texas Festival. So that's where it kind of all started, just right there. They screened it at the Texas Theater, I'm sorry. So that major theater in Texas, yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. They give you 3 months. So you enter a contest, you pay your little fee, and then they give you 3 months to write, direct, and produce your stuff. And that's where everything kind of evolved. So I was in Cali when I made it out of a script and out of a one-woman show. But I was in Dallas in my hometown when I read about it. And it sat for a minute because I didn't do anything with it just then. And then it wasn't until 2016 that I literally made it out of a film.
Okay. And that was shot in the Dallas area versus like Southern California. So what was that kind of experience like when you shot in Dallas? Like, well, how did it feel to be shooting in that area, and what was that like for you?
You want the honest opinion or you want the cute opinion?
I want the truth.
You want the truth. You can't handle the truth. No, just I'm just kidding. I love that. I love that. He's a great writer too. Aaron Sorkin is off the chains. I studied him actually, but he's off the chains. I was excited. So I was in California. I knew about the contest festival in Texas. So my goal was, okay, I want to do this first thing in my hometown. Seriously, I am totally excited. I'm off the chains. I'm looking up all the actors because my thing, when I originally started, my thing is to put my town, put people, actors and different people and the community on the map, put us on the map. Let us make projects that put us on the map in Texas. So that was my original thought. And I was very, very free with it, seriously. And so I'm all the way in Cali and I'm contacting people back in Texas saying, hey, are you looking for, some work? You know about this festival. Everybody knew about the festival, of course, in Texas, because everybody knew about Texas Theater. And that one guy who literally lets all of the short film filmmakers screen their films. And of course, you win at the end of the contest when it's all over, if you've done very well. And so I'm contacting people. I'm in Cali, so I haven't went back yet, but I'm getting my people and team in place. So, but as you know, we have obstacles. Anytime you put out projects, you have obstacles. And that was my very first project. And of course, I didn't know. That's what I mean by helping people to understand you have to look out for yourself. Yes, you have a heart. Yes, you want to do things, but you have to be smart about it. Yeah. And so I always knew about contracts. I'm a contract lady. And I always knew about, nope, let's get this in writing, And, but I didn't know, how that bar say, how low can you go? I didn't know that some people, in spite of all of the good people that really want to do great things, and they do great things in any industry, and especially in our industry, you have some people that do some undercut things. Mm-hmm. And so I was sending my script back and trying to get people on board, and they were appearing to be on board. That's literally what it was happening like. So now I'm in Texas. I went to Texas, getting the team together, got the money, entered the contest, because you have to pay for this contest. It literally costs $100 to enter. So you pay for this contest, and the whole goal is to help develop you, really. It's so much fun. It is total fun. I'm glad I had the experience. And you have a deadline. You have 3 months to write, direct, and produce your stuff. 3 months. Hire your team, do whatever you're going to do. And again, I had never done this. So I'm YouTubing, doing it, reading books, doing it, and just putting everything into action. So very excited, very wonderful experience. But then I didn't know that some people were so competitive that it was not their intention to come on board and help. It was their intention to slight the project so that they could be the contest, thing. Yeah. Try to knock me out the box. Yeah. And I wasn't aware of that at first. So at the last minute, they call themselves dropping off the project. So even though we had a whole team together, we've been working all this time, they've been getting information from me and, going back, doing stuff. And I didn't know, though. That's the problem. Sometimes we don't know, and we have to live and learn, and we have to get wiser. So at the last minute, a couple of them dropped, but it was the couple of the people that you really needed. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I put my $100 in, I've gotten all these actors together. I'm like, I just can't let them down like that. They studied for this script, what am I going to do? And I remember for some reason I came across Beyonce mother on the internet. True story. I came across Beyonce mother on a little YouTube thing, and she was talking. And she stated, write down what you want. Write down what you want. And then see how to get it done, or something she was saying. And she was talking about a hard time that she had went through, and she had to sit down and focus and figure out what it was that she wanted. So I knew I wanted to make that film. I knew that that film was meaningful. I knew it had meaning. And I said, well, what do I want? I said, I want to make this film. I said, well, what do I need to make this film? There's two people that dropped. I need my DOP, and I need certain other things. So what I did is I revamped. Didn't focus on the negativity, didn't focus on the mess. And what I did is I went and got, guess what? Ariana Taunton. That is one of your people who literally work in Dallas for one of your major Black newspapers there. She had never in her life filmed. And we talked. And she said, oh, I'm a photographer. She said, but I've never did film before. I said, that's okay, sweetie. We gonna do this. So, and of course, a lot of people don't know this, but she films for, she does not film, but photography, Steve Harvey, all of that. So she's like kind of, you know, known there in Dallas, you know. And so we got together, we talked about the project, we kept going, we kept moving, and it got done. And so that's why I like to share with people that no matter how ambitious you are, know that everyone is not as ambitious as you are about what you're trying to do. You have to be aware of the people that's coming on board to get the information from you and see what you're doing, and versus those who really are a part and trying to help bring a thing to fruition. So all of those lessons, as far as the, I guess you can say the, how do you call it? I guess you can say more of the emotional and spiritual part of filmmaking, but also the technical. And also learning about myself. Because think about that. I had never done that before, but skills just had to come up out of me to stay focused, keep going, get it done. And I learned so much about myself and other people. And it, to me, it was a great experience. It was so powerful to me. And the main thing that I want to share is the power of invention. That's what film taught me. Film taught me the power of human invention, that you can literally take an idea out of your mind, literally, and do something, and bam, you're looking at it.
Yeah.
It is amazing. And that was one of the most amazing experiences to me. And that was the journey. I call Yetunde my baby. That was the journey.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, because that's one of the rewards, I think, for whether it's a filmmaker or someone who's written a novel or even like a painter or a sculptor. The reward is seeing it come together. You know, seeing the finished product, just like what you were just saying. What you were saying.
Oh man, it's like people say it's like having a baby. I don't know about that. It's a little bit baby like but a project is like too, but it's not that kind of. The experiences are so, but it is like when you have the baby and you look at the baby, you finally see, oh, this is what was in my womb. And it's the same thing with any project, not just film, any project that you're passionate about. This is what was in my womb. This is what I translated and brought out into the world. And not just me, but everybody that worked on it. Think about that. All of the actors and what they bring out of their mind. The camera person and how he sees it. Because he's not going to see it like you see it. That's why you be like, but I want it right here. He'd be like, but no, that's not going to work. you know, because they understand from their angle what they're talking about, what they're looking at, and how they're going to make it fit. And it is so beautiful. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. It is the most beautiful experience. And that's when I knew that it was something there. It had sparked something in me. Because that people, and we find that in different ways. Some people find it through film. Some people find it through writing a book. Some people find it through technology, like people find it in different ways, but the power of invention, because when you think about inventors, who do you think about? All the
Like Thomas Edison, for example,
exactly,
and people like that.
exactly. But invention is not defined as that. Invention is defined whatever you birthed in this earth. So it's whatever your experience is. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever your business is, whatever your experience is, beautiful. I mean, I don't know how. Yeah, I don't have no other words.
You took a lot of different, experiences and things that you learned from when you were working on your Tune Day. So I assume you must have taken that into your projects behind that. For example, like the lessons we learned, which is it's kind of funny to say that title, just thinking about, you literally must have learned lessons in real life in addition to your characters learning lessons.
Exactly. So what I did is that when this is what and I'm going to share this because I really want actors to understand this. When a lot of people start out, they want to be the star.
Yeah.
Whether they the director, listen, I want to be the star. I want to be seen. I want to be known. It's my project. I'm the actor. I just, And what I did is I just did it differently. And so I would get invited out to big studio lots, Sony, all of them you can think of, really. And I would be around major players, stars, but I would watch. I always understood that I don't care if it's a student film that don't nobody know, or it's a big project, and you don't even have no lines. You just need to stand there and be the senator aide. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I always knew that it's not your show. It's only your show when you're producing the show. It's not your show. It's really a team.
Yeah.
And that character is a role. And so I always thought about, how do I fulfill this role? Like, I would literally look, it don't even have no lines. But I was like, if I'm going to be the senator aide, what am I doing? What am I thinking? Why do I have to protect her? Why do I have her back? If it's two senator aides, because I literally did that on a project that I worked on that was someone else's, and that's on IMDb too. If she's playing it this way, then I want to play it a different way, because there's no use to us copycatting each other. It brings such contrast, and you may not think people notice that on screen, but they do. They do. Because if the lead actor is sitting there talking for a while, guess what? You're standing there beside the lead actor. You all on screen. What are you doing? What are you projecting? Why are you there? And so it was things like that was important. And I wasn't even thinking about it, but the big time producers would always reach back and tell the casting directors, you tell her she did good,
Yes.
I'd be like, really? But nobody taught me that. It's just, that's what I did. Another thing I did, to answer your question, and I say this because I really want people to understand who watched this video, take it all in. When you get on these sets, I don't care if it's small roles, I don't care whatever it is. I used to go where they pay you a little $50 and you sit in the audience and go, woo! I would learn everything they was doing. I'd just be sitting there just soaking it all, watching Angela Bassett direct Yaya DaCosta, how she was directing them, what she was saying, watching us in an arena that it looks like a big old stadium. It was nothing more than a university, a college. But I can talk about it now because it's over with now. It's been out there for years. But that's where we were. That's where we were. You understand what I'm saying? Learning, like, wow. So we're not really in an arena, and you can really take a location and make it look like what you want to make it look like. Oh, how do you, when you do one of those, what they call when they have those, I forget what it's called, but it's a type of camera and they are so expensive. But they put them on top of their bodies and they're strapped to their bodies. But these are high-paid professionals, by the way. And watching them on stage, literally. And the camera guys in California are some of the coolest guys, by the way. some of the highest paid top guys in the industry. You talking about, ooh, some money. But they are so cool and down to earth. Very, very. That's what a lot of people don't know. But watching them go around Yaya DaCosta's body, it's cam. I think it's body cam. And so they have attached very expensive camera, so you have to be licensed to do it. And they go around the body. So when you go and look at the film, you literally see that universal turn around Whitney, which Yaya DaCosta, while she's playing, she got her hands up and they doing all of that. Watching how they did that. And then working on another short film with another little student film, watching how they didn't have a big budget. They didn't have big money. So what did they do? If they wanted to make a pan in or whatever, we was at a laundromat. They literally sat me in a laundromat cart, and one of the guys would scroll me in and scroll me out. Do you understand that? And so professional on and just learning the little tricks and techniques. And guess what that taught me? So that's how I learned. To answer your question, learning, listening, looking, taking it all in. Not worried about being a star, because you never know what you're going to be doing. But you learning from every different angle, production, all these different things. And it's so exciting because you get to see everybody at work.
Right.
And I would take all that information. I was like, okay, so you really don't have to have that much money to make a film. You just got to be creative. Because, you know, when you first start out, you're thinking, okay, where I'm going to get the money from? How I'm going to do this? I don't have no big camera. You know, but you don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to have a big budget. You don't have to have a big camera. You just have to have the creativity and the willingness to stick to the project to the end. So it was being on those different sets. Even though I had little bitty pee-wee roles, I was learning so much. It was being on student films, treating an extra role or treating a little small role as if you had the star of your life role with humility, but understanding that that was special. Because if you understand that you're not just there, you know what extras do on films? They are always sitting around, aren't they? You sit around for a very, very long time till it's time for the next shot. Instead of sitting there talking all the time, you should be up there. I used to be by the directors. I'm not lying. Famous directors in Hollywood, I'd be right there with them just looking. I would be with the script supervisor. I learned what they do. I worked a little bit on hand, literally sitting there learning how they have to really keep continuity, everything they have to do. And I think when you understand purpose and meaning and get the stardom out the way, no, seriously, when I say stardom, you know what I'm talking about. The mentality that I want to be a star and understand that to any type of life work you do, it's really about meaning and purpose. And that's what makes you the star because you do the work to become the star. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Through meaning and purpose, then that's what makes, I think, people great in the end. If that's what they really want to do and stick to it. Yeah. So that's how I learned how to do those projects. That's how I learned how to just being on sets and with these little extra roles and just, I'll be like, okay, well, I'm gonna go do this, you know. And that's how I learned.
All right. Well, yeah, that makes sense to me, and I know there are a lot of people who see this are going to get a lot out of what you're saying because it is a process. It's definitely a process.
Yeah.
So before we let you go here, let me just ask you: if someone wants to take a look at your Tune Day, or as I mentioned, the lessons we learned, or anything else, where would someone go to take a look at that? Like what website or your YouTube page or anything like that? Where would you send it?
You know what? You can find me on YouTube. They can find me on YouTube at Abike. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Abike Speaks. So that's one place they can find. And it's up there. So that's where they can. And also, I do have a website, www.abike, speaks.com. And so, yeah, and they can find also my page from there. So.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. Now we'll all be sure to take a look at those websites and as well as the YouTube channel. And just want to
Okay.
say thanks again for coming on. Appreciate your time. I know people will learn a lot from looking at your work and as well as what you have going on in the future. So once again, thanks for coming on board here.
Okay. I want to leave a last few words for actors. I want them to remember that it really is your story you're telling. Even though you have someone else's script, it's your story. And if you respect the producer, respect the director, and if you understand that you're a team, that will help you. And if that's what you really want to do, you will go far. To the aspiring directors and producers and writers, you have to understand it's a business.
Yeah.
It's a business, and your ideas are your baby. They're your baby.
Yeah.
And you don't ever see Fox, and I give examples. You don't see Fox Films or all these different type of major companies coming out saying, you know what, we're going to be making this film, we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing that, and just putting all their business up there like that. They just don't do it.
Right.
They do everything in alignment and in professional, and then next thing you know, by the time they throw you a trailer, they done halfway put everything together. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So just to remind people that be smart about your ideas so that they can go a long way. And I wish everybody well. And remember, learning is not just filmmaking, it's team making. You guys have a great one.
Well, thank you for coming. Like I
And
said,
thank
and
you.
appreciate that. that was awesome. That was a good note to end on. So
And
thank
have
you very
fun.
much.
Have fun. Have fun. And if anybody try to discourage you, just go switch. No, I'm just playing. Be like, no. But have fun. No, seriously. Have fun. Have fun.
Have fun. That's
Mhm.
right. Have fun. All right. Well, like I said, thank you very much, and thanks for coming, and good luck to you.
It was a pleasure talking with you, Andre.